Hi, Leather Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. And as you can see, this is what my hair looks like after I got out of the shower, and I'm not thrilled with it. But I want to talk to you about a few things. Let me put this little side light on. But I don't know. Do you think I need it? You think I'm okay? I had to put the curtain thingy back on the window because otherwise, look what that does. That totally. I don't know if you want me to do that. Um. I've been thinking about a couple of things. First of all, I don't know when I pressed on my computer, but I don't have the sideways button, and the text, everything is bigger. And when I can go into the settings and I can make the text even like 80%, the zoom thing, and it's still like everything I see is bigger. So like when I look into the back end of my YouTube thing, I only see part of the screen. I've tried the minimize or maximizer thing. I don't know. There's something about this trackpad that I accidentally, all of a sudden, I press something and things get bigger, and I don't know how to make it smaller again. My friend who knows how to do the computer stuff, he's not going to be here again until Sunday afternoon at the earliest, because he actually works for a living, and people who actually work serious 40-day-a-week jobs and they only have a couple of days off a week, you don't want to abuse them for every time that something goes cuckoo. So I find it very hard to. This doesn't often happen with, say, my Hotmail and my Gmail, but on YouTube, it's like sometimes you press the trackpad and all of a sudden things get bigger, and I don't know exactly where it is I touched, but I don't know how to undo it. And like I said, doing the expanding contraction thing doesn't help. JB, hi. Long time no see. Another thing I wanted to address. First of all, it is now 11 o'clock in the morning. I did get a pretty decent sized rest. I was able to catch up on the 90-day and beyond, or before the 90-day, those TLC romance shows. I was able to catch up on that. I especially like the pillow talk thing when the couples uh, watch what just happened and they make their comments and stuff. It's like my mom got me into that stuff. I don't normally. I mean, it's a lot more fun than just watching the Weather Channel with all the natural disasters and watching the news with all the bad news. And then, when bad things happen to people that you like, it's a real bummer. So I want to bring up some other things. I don't know if you guys, all of you, know who Dennis Prager is, but he is a TV radio personality. He has a show in Los Angeles talk radio, but he's also syndicated, and he has something that he has founded called Prager University, and he has a lot of educational videos about civics and about Western values, and I don't always agree with him. Like, for instance, he's not pro-choice and he's anti-weed, for instance. But other things I do agree with him. And he has this thing called the Fireside Chats, and he always features his dog Otto, right next to the fireplace, and he sits in his easy chair and he talks about life and answers viewer questions and stuff. Well, Otto recently passed away, and so he and his family are in bereavement. So I just figured I would mention that if anybody is also an animal lover. Uh, Even though he's much more dog person, and of course I'm a cat person, but still, you love an animal, the animal dies, of course you're gonna feel sad. You know what? I really need that light, don't I? At least it gives some light to this. Uh, I have this lamp my friend gave me, and I actually have to plug it in the grow room in front of there so that I can see things. Uh, I can't. The wiring in my apartment is so messed up. I have never, for the past 4 years, I have not been able to turn the lights on in the grow room. Uh, and I thought it was just humidity made so sometimes the lights don't go on. The lights here in my room, I have to sleep with the lights on because if I turn the lights out, I can't turn them back on. You have to be able to have light at will. To me, that's just basic part of being a human being. You turn a light switch on, you get light. I mean, just like when you turn the water faucet on, would you expect there not to be any water? In the United States of America, unless somebody didn't pay a bill or something, you should be able to get, these are basic things. Well, now, Let me turn on this, plug in this not so basic light. There we go. Now, I want to see, I want the light to fill this. I gotta do something with this bed though. I don't want to just throw it on the floor. I'm kind of curious about something. Let me open my door and see what's going on. Okay. All right. There's something else I wanted to mention. Um, I thought that I was going to be able to download the rest of my live streams because I have to cancel the YouTube Prime Premium. Otherwise, my mom's credit card is going to be automatically charged, and she's going to kick my ass. We don't like that. Uh, but when I tried to download my latest live stream that I created last night, it only gave me one option, and that was delete forever. Obviously, I don't want to do that. So I figured, well, maybe it needed time to process. I don't know. I let it wait a couple hours, and I tried it again. Again, the only option I had was delete forever. So now I no longer can delete my live streams, which means what I'm creating right now, I'm not going to be able to delete. Not delete, download. I want to be able to download all this live stuff before I cancel my premium membership, which I can't afford these extra bills. Not when I got my storage to deal with in Los Angeles. And I'm thinking about if I ever do have to get a cell phone, I'm going to have to be paying a data plan. And I don't really want to do that for obvious reasons. And not just I don't want to pay the money, it's because I hardly ever use telephones. I don't like talking on the phone. If there needs to be a business call made or a medical thing or whatever, that's what the family landline's for. My mom can take a message, and frankly, I have her handling most of that stuff anyway because I get frustrated talking with some things like if I get put on a menu and I'm dealing with customer service and they've got a very heavy accent and stuff, I get overwhelmed. And then the people on the other end think that I'm insulting them when I'm asking them to please speak slowly, or I actually think they're speaking their language and they're not speaking English. You would think that they would understand that the thing they were hired for. The people don't sound the same, even though they're speaking the same language. And maybe, I mean, I don't know if my version of English is harder to understand than an Indian person's version of English. I don't know. But if people understood how hard accents made it for other people who live in other countries, just being able to speak the same language isn't enough if your speech is, I don't want to say cluttered because that seems rude. People's accents are what they are. But if you can't be understood when you're hired for a job in which communication is the whole point, I don't understand here. If I could have gotten from Dell Technologies Incorporated the procedure for how to get the stuff I just shot in this new Dell Inspiron 15 laptop directly from the laptop into my YouTube video thing. It was always so easy. You go into the back end of YouTube, you press create, and it says download. You press the big arrow that says download. You're given an option. The first thing you should see is the photo album in the device you recorded from, which in my case would be the laptop. For years, I've been creating from laptop computers, and there was never a problem until this Windows 11. And it's baffling. Even my high school classmate friend who came over, he spent several hours over here yesterday trying to figure out about not a half hour after I got back from that dinner. Oh, by the way, I want to talk to you about the dinner. I already mentioned you they had the hamburger stew, which was so good. I just wish I'd remembered to bring salt and pepper packets because everything needs a little bit of salt. Well, the hamburger stew didn't, but the bean salad didn't. By the way, I thought it was 3 bean salad. My mother said it was 6 bean salad. I brought her, I had 2 little cups of it. I brought her home 2 little cups of it. And I brought, oh, a nice, I bet the equivalent of a full size, like 12 cup pot of coffee I brought home. Considering that I use both a bucket like this, and I also used the water bottle, the kind that, those water bottles that you can strap to bicycles. It's a water bottle I got from Washington, D.C., the library. I put coffee in that also. She was complaining she didn't have any good coffee all day yesterday. So, a lot of people have missed me. Part of the thing is I've been having police problems. When you have a cop on the 4 to 12 shift that chases you off the boardwalk, gives you threats of $2,000 disorderly persons fines. And then you go and you look on YouTube and you find out that your other friends who playing guitar are there at the same time out there able to make a buck. And these are people who have drinking problems. They get drunk. They, instead of just standing and playing, they come up to couples with their guitar and they've had, a couple shots of that fireball or whatever, and the beers. And, when they're thirsty, they don't drink water or soda. No, they got to drink beers. They got to drink a cocktail. They come up to couples and say, "Want to hear a song?" No. When the cops chase them off, or if they do get chased, they just go on down the road, but they don't leave. They're able to make money. They're able to party. They're able to socialize with their friends. But no, I don't want a ticket. I don't want a record. I've never been arrested. I don't, I'm not a jailbird. I am very careful to, if not obey the law, at least not be a criminal. We all know that there's just and unjust laws. But the fact that I don't do anything, vice wise, except for marijuana, should mean a lot. But because I have friends that are all different socioeconomic backgrounds, housed and unhoused, I can't help it that it's the homeless people that have more time to hang out with me. I have a couple of friends in New York City. They're so busy working all the time. And housing is so expensive there. When I am able to visit there, they don't have time to hang out with me, or they might take a half hour during the day that they would have for lunch because they have all these gigs and they're going all around Manhattan and they're going all around Brooklyn and they're on the subway all the time and they're talking on the cell phone, they're walking into traffic and stepping off of curbs, and you can't totally get their attention when you're talking to them because they're walking around and it's very chaotic and they're busy. And in order to survive, you have to work and work and work and work and work. So they don't have time for me. And they sure as hell aren't going to say, "Hey, Leathur, I heard you want to check out New York and see if you can work there. Here, stay on my floor for 2 weeks and just check it out." No, it's not like LA or Hollywood or San Francisco or places where people will do that. New York City is very hard to let you in if you didn't know. And okay, maybe I could ask you, but a lot of times because it's so expensive there, they have roommates and they have different shifts. Like, because if people don't work all the same hours, then people can sleep and it was quiet, and then the next person sleeps. In which case, it would be really hard for them to say, "Okay, I'm going to let my friend come here and stay for 2 weeks," because you have to think of not only them but the other roommates. You know what they say: fish and relatives stink after 3 days. So yeah, and I unfortunately have experienced wearing out my welcome before. Sometimes a lot of times you just don't notice it because you're thinking, "Okay, I am glad that I don't have to search for something to have a roof over my head, that I have this couch or I have this floor." And you try your best not to let your stuff spread out and try to be clean, and you appreciate that, hey, I can shower every day. Unless it's a household where people only shower once a week or something. I don't know. I have some friends that are kind of like that. And the thing is, if I got a free rent on a real nice apartment from the city, and it came with free utilities, including air conditioning and hardwood floors, damn it, and central heating, whatever, I'd be taking showers every damn day. And if I had a bath, because it would be nice and clean, I would bathe. I would totally enjoy that. Just like whenever you get in a hotel, don't you take a nice bath? Don't you take a nice shower? If they had a jacuzzi or something, wouldn't you take advantage of that? I know whenever I've gotten a chance to be in a hotel that had a gym facility and had a sauna, jacuzzi, a pool. Of course, most of the time when I'm in hotels, the very few times they are, it's in the off season and the pool isn't open. And it's a shame because it's indoors, meaning you don't have to worry about sun exposure. We got a water park here in Atlantic City that I heard is over $100 to go to, and it's still got glass covering. You'd still get sun poisoning. If you're white and you want to stay that way, guess what? Where are you supposed to go if you want to enjoy the water and you don't want to be in the sun? You can risk being out there when you don't have lifeguard protection, but guess what? Not only are you running the risk of drowning, you want to go in dawn or dusk, where I would ideally want to go because you wouldn't have to worry about the sun, but you got to worry about the sharks. Yeah, well, I have had it up to here with so many of my people I thought were my friends that would get drunk and foolish and hanging out with friends on the boardwalk and people who I've known for decades. And they drink too much. And they grab me, and this guy pulled up my skirt and showed my underwear to not just him, but any strange men that were around. And there was families nearby, and I didn't consent to it. They're the guys that grab you for a hug when you don't want to hug. Or like if I'm wearing short sleeves, or if I'm wearing uh like whatever, a bikini top or something, that means my arms are exposed. And I don't like hugging people because that's skin to skin contact. I don't want to touch my bare skin to just anybody. And if I seem like I'm a little particular, don't I have a right to who I have touch me? But when people get up on you, your consent is irrelevant to them. They have proven that they don't respect you enough to ask. Or the people don't hear you when you say, no, I don't want to do that. They don't hear you. When I say, I don't want to get my sneakers on sand because I don't want to get sand on them, and people don't hear me, that makes me mad. It's like, do you not value what I'm saying? Does what I'm saying not matter? Once you get sand in sneakers, it's real hard to get it out. You're going to get blisters, and then they're dirtier because there are a lot of germs on the sand. People walk their dogs on the sand and don't pick up the shit. Uh, Crabs wash on shore and get rotten. Birds, they eat all this stuff. They shit too. There's a lot of seaweed sometimes gets rotten. There's all kinds of syringes wash out there. Like it's like on one hand, if you've got cuts on your arms and legs, you think of the ocean as healing, and I used to think it was healing because it's salt water. But if there's any kind of contamination there, you got to understand that people, for the most part, throw all kinds of litter around. Even though there's signs on some streets saying that things go into the ocean, and they have show pictures of a fish in a lot of cleaner ocean towns. There are signs warning that trash contaminates the ocean. Look, all the clean cities, the clean upper class cities of California do. And there were some here in Atlantic City, but they disregard things around here. People, when they wash their cars, they use non biodegradable soaps, get the soap suds. I'm sure 95% of them are not the kind you want to put directly in the ocean. And they wash their cars. And I told them, I said, that goes directly into that. You guys don't filter it. If you wash it down the drain, that'd be one thing, but they do it right in the gutter and it goes right. We're a block from the ocean. If it was quiet if this traffic stopped and this ghetto bullshit stopped, you would literally hear the ocean. If I stick my head far enough out the window, I could see the ocean. I could see the boardwalk. Okay. So people got all this natural beauty around here and they don't respect it. People, you don't know how many trash cans the city has put up. Trash can and recycling bucket are like on almost every street corner. And people, because they happen to be not on that particular side of the street, they'll just set things out or they'll throw things. People will dump things out of their cars. People that only come into this neighborhood to buy drugs, they leave trash behind. Occasionally, people do clean it up. Sometimes you've got the Billy Goat vacuum cleaner. Sometimes you've got Krita, which is financed from the casino industry and beautifies the local, like the facades of things. Krita are the people that they took part of the front lawn of that garden, they used to have a tree on the right side in the front. And there used to be a wall that a lot of people would sit and loiter at all hours of the day. It probably made the people that lived on that corner miserable as hell. Well, Krita took, we get a lot of broken seashells, and you can take white shells and crush them, and they make really great ground cover. Keeps weeds from growing, and also it makes either a walkway or discourages people from walking, or it beautifies things. They also use crushed white clamshells. We have a shortcut on the street that goes to another street, and people use it to go back and forth. And it used to have grass growing at one time, but because there's so much foot traffic, there we get all these puddles and muddy places when it rains. And now that it's got the shell coating, it is a lot easier to walk around, and it makes it easier to clean. Not that people clean it or anything; it's still a slummy, ghetto-y looking area. But yeah, it's and I used to be real hardcore about going when I would find recyclables put in the trash can. I would pick them up even without gloves, and I would put them in the recyclable thing. And when they opened the gate next door, I would use their recyclables because I don't put a recyclable canister out anymore because they get legs and they walk away. Even if you have the street address, they disappear, or else people put trash in them. And now if I can't use next door, I actually take recyclables and I put them in municipal recycling things. I know technically you're not supposed to take home trash in them, and I guess there's a ticket involved. Again, isn't that ridiculous? But if you can't access your own, you can do that with the cardboard too. Do what the businesses do. They flatten it and they put it on the corners, and they're picked up. You know, put them kind of between the recycling and trash thing. You know, oh man. Do you mind if I turn my fan on some? Can you still hear me? I hope you can hear me. I guess I gotta get closer. I'm gonna do that. So, I want to bring up a few things. I want to wash my hair a couple more times before I bleach my roots, and I'll tell you why. In the months that I started putting my braids in, can you guys hear me? In the months that I started putting my braids in, um, after a while, I couldn't physically wash my hair anymore like this, because when you have braids in and you go like this, you create friction and it dreads things up even more at the scalp. And it took a long time for me to untangle that hair. I wasn't, when I didn't have anything to film or create content, I deliberately didn't touch my hair because I wanted to save my big hair and all that stuff for when I could finally film. Now I really wish I'd gotten to film more videos with all my braids. I love them so much. Good. But when I lost the good tablet, and then I broke the little tablet, and then when I tried to take the memory card out, everything flew in the air and I lost the memory card. So again, there's a lot of those great braid pictures I lost. I had some pictures I took on the boardwalk with my drunk ass friends. I lost them. Uh, I think something stuck to a piece of trash I picked off my floor. I've been cleaning like crazy. You know, I'm embarrassed when when any friend comes over and if they see a mess. So I do cleaning beforehand. And you gotta understand when I'm getting ready to go out and I'm getting dressed or I'm getting ready to film, then I gotta go digging for clothes and I'm throwing clothes around and I'm making more of a mess because I'm laying things out so that I can get my accessories and finishing touches on my makeup and do all that stuff. And I have to keep on repositioning my fan because usually I have it over here where I watch TV. And and now that I'm doing this thing, I did this thing with this computer that I can't get it to get small again. Like, okay, I'm going to do right now while I'm watching myself while I'm filming here. There's this thing that shows the settings, and already on Zoom it's down to 80%, and now 75%. Now, and it seems like when I the smaller the Zoom is, the bigger I see myself. I don't understand. I'm 80%. Uh, I need to still be able to see what you guys are typing, and I can't see real little typing, but the screen is too, it's not, I'm not able to see my full screen. And I don't understand this. I never had problems before Windows 11. Oh, and there's another thing. There's an update that they want me to do, and I'm afraid to do it because the last time I did that update, it made me sign in with another device. And of course, this is the only way I have to get on the internet. And maybe I should have tried doing that device update while my friend was still here. Still, how many hours am I going to expect somebody to be here in an unair conditioned room? It probably smells like marijuana when he's a tobacco smoker. And it probably smells like dead cats for all I know. I don't know. When you live in a place long enough, you get used to the smells and you don't smell anything. If you lived in a bathroom, you get used to that. I mean, that's this is just biology. So, oh, I was thinking, I wish I bought a whole bunch of the same kind of strings, like 5 or 6 packs. So whenever I break a string, I could just replace it with the same brand, same thickness. You know, Even those cheapo strings I only got 1 pack of each, and one of those 6 packs only contained 5 strings. So I've got a 3 string guitar which I can't play. Well, I was thinking of something else. That guitar over here, this has 6 strings. I was thinking if I play that, but the thing is, nobody's going to hear me. I don't have an amplifier. So say I use a pick or normal pick instead of a pick. Now, the last thing I want to do is break any of those strings because electric strings are way harder to change than acoustic string. Did you guys know that? Yeah. I watched my guitar tech change these strings. You know how the acoustic you change from down here? These guitars have plates you open. And it's this complicated thing. And of course, he's a pro. He does it fast like that, you know? But I'm thinking if I play this, maybe people will figure, oh, I'm saving up for an amp, you know? I think that's a better angle than playing Pitiful Me, looking crazy because I'm playing a 5 string guitar that became a 4 string guitar that now became a 3 string guitar. Come on. And the more strings you lose, the more it sucks. And why? To have something that sucks. Plus, when you don't have enough strings, your fingering is fucked up. You're trying to be accurate with your strings, your finger placement, and you hit these wrong strings, and it sounds really bad when you're singing. Oh, you're wondering what that is? I know this is ghetto, but I'm running out of clean places to hang my laundry. Yeah, that guitar you saw is my PV Raptor. I'm running out of clean places to hang my laundry when I'm drying it. Unfortunately, my mother's room is usually where I hang things, and she's got critter. She's got the 6-legged kind. It's disgusting. And she's so slow to react. When I tell her there's some crawling on the wall behind her bed, by the time she turns her head, I mean, I've seen her kill them with her bare hands. And the mice she's terrified of. Uh, I think mice are really cute and they're fuzzy and I know they're destructive though. Uh, did you see my white guitar? Hold on. That's my underwear. Or no, that wasn't a skirt. Of course, can you guys count? See the problem? This guitar has 5 strings. And this guitar has what looks like glue on it. Yeah. Now, just for the heck of it, hi Amir, how you doing? Good afternoon. Well, good morning, technically from America. I hope you can hear me with the fan running. It's very hot. You know what? My window's closed because they have they have a pile of clothes downstairs. It's a clothes giveaway. I got a new pair of jeans. I haven't tried them on. I hope they fit. Look at the backs of them. Elbow test is how you tell if they fit you. And you could see the wrist elbow, they might be a bit big. But you can't tell until you try them on. And I'm not really much of a jeans person, but there's always times when you kind of need them. But check this out. So I'm going to set this up so I can step on it so I could show you. Smaller, I could show you. Take care, JV. So you guys, it's a little tangled from the protective bag they for it. And size tag has been cut out of it. And I'm not sure what the size is. Oh, wait a minute, I am looking at that. It's got a bunch of tags. It just says what the material is. Couture collection, Jordan fashions. I don't know what the size is. I mean, it's probably too big. Oh, a lot of these things look bigger than they are, and it needs to be ironed somehow, or maybe steamed. And I don't know if I would have to have it hemmed because maybe it's for a 6 foot tall person. But I do like having fancy formal wear. You never know when you have an opportunity to watch something. I mean, to wear something. If I get, say I get invited to the Academy Awards or the Golden Globes or the Emmys or some fancy schmancy thing. You know, uh, yeah. And it was in a aisle of free clothes. In my neighborhood and a lot of places, there's these drop off spots where people just drop off bags of stuff they don't need. Um, do you like the thing? I gotta find out if this fits. I would like to try it on. but I want to wash it first. I'm a germaphobe, and I have a feeling the only way this would wash, it may have been dry clean. And I don't think dry cleaning kills germs. So I'm going to put the bag still around this because the last thing I want is mice or worse to get in this. Oh, I don't think they have anything more good where that stuff was. Most of the stuff was for very, very, very large people. There are these two plaids that, oh man, I really would have loved them. They were bright, they had bright colors in them, and even a little bit of metallic thread, but they were like the size 3X. And you see, I like being able to freely look at things and figure out what fits or whatever, instead of being yelled at, looking in children's pile and say, that's for kids. And it's like, excuse me, I wear a lot of Cat and Jack. That's a children's clothing brand. I think people should wear whatever they like, right? Um, I'm trying to think of what else I may have wanted to mention. Yeah. So do you think I should take the electric out tonight? Especially now, I thought that we were guaranteed to have rain tonight, and there's only slight chance of rain. And any chance that I can go out and make a little coin, I really want to do so. This is the summer's coming to an end, and especially if I don't know what's going on with how I'm going to create content, because I don't know how I'm going to do this. If I can't find a way to get what I'm filming from this laptop onto my YouTube channel, then how am I going to keep on creating content? I can't keep on live streaming when I can't download my stuff back. And now, even though I still have YouTube Premium, I'm not able to download the streams. Last night's stream I couldn't download back, and I'm assuming I'm not going to be able to download this one. So, you know, so I don't know how I'm going to keep in touch with everybody. I don't know what to do with this Windows 11 computer. I should be able to film with something and just upload what I filmed. And until something really dramatically good happens with my income situation and I've got my storage paid, I am not incurring another bill. It's just, it would be fiscally irresponsible. And I'm not going to pay for a permit when, it's bad enough when I finally get my ID. Yeah, the masked fashion show thing was fun. I think that should be a separate stream though, because people aren't going to be interested in watching a replay where you're talking about everything. No, if it's just about the masks and how you can look at them as fashion and as function, and then we could talk about how they're starting to enforce the mask mandates again in some hospitals, and there's different things that they're learning about different kinds of masks, and I'm open to learning more about it. I certainly want to get my facts straight before I say too much, because the last thing I want is another disinformation strike. And even my understanding of the science is evolving, honestly. I think we're all on a search for truth. If we can be courageous and if we can be honest with ourselves, I think we are on a search for truth. And there's different ways of arriving at that truth. Some people find it through religion, some people find it through science. But even the people who find it through science, scientists don't all agree. There's a reason why you do the scientific method, or there's a reason why people do double blind tests to see if the conclusion is valid. It takes time, just like it takes time to approve medical treatments and vaccines and all kinds of things. It could take years to find out that something doesn't work. Look how long it takes to find out a car needs to be recalled. Put it on the market after doing some tests and everything. It's great and it's got the new bells and whistles. And how long does it take people report problems before they say, okay, you gotta turn them all in to get fixed? It's a shame we don't know that ahead of time. You see, I took my time. I finally found a computer that was they had Windows 11, but I figured it's not new. They should have ironed out all the bells and whistles. And yes, the mask can protect from the wildfire smoke and the bad air quality. You're absolutely right. When those wildfires were burning up in Canada and it came down here, and I used the masks, the N95 masks and the KN95 masks, walking back and forth to the library. I drew the line at playing guitar with it, though, because I thought that I was still getting some smoke exposure. And I thought it would make it harder for people to hear me if I tried to sing. And I thought that people would find it disturbing. And I shouldn't care what people think, but when you're doing something that you're hoping to earn a little money, you don't want to bother people to the point that they're repulsed by you and they stay far away. That's just like everybody says, oh, I don't care about popularity, but if you're a rock star and you have a song and you love this song, you want other people to love it. But people don't love your art, you're going to have to find a day job. And all my life, I've been, I think, avoiding getting that day job. I've made sure that the things that I did were things that I loved because I value my time and I want to enjoy my life. We never know how much time we have on earth, and I want to make memories. I want to share time with my friends. I want to have exciting experiences. I want to try to be a force of good in the world. I like picking up trash and doing the recycling, and I like doing things that I know make a difference, not just the virtue signaling things that so many of us do to make us look good in front of our peers. Look, I care about this cause. I care about that. And I'll go and put the bumper sticker on so that you know that I'm one of the ones. And meanwhile, some of those actions that people take, they're just like playing a shell game. They're not really helping things. Like, okay, say I'm always complaining about these people idling their engines. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great if everybody had electric cars? And okay, people forget about some things. How is that electricity being generated? You can't just plug it into another giant electrical outlet in God's house. You don't have a giant cord the size of a tunnel that has a giant plug, and God plugs it in, and all our electric, all these turbines are plugged in God's electric supply. No, this electricity has to come from something. Where does it usually come from? Fossil fuels. Hello? Now, there's different cleanliness and different kind of fossil fuels. If you are using coal and it's not very well refined coal, like it's often used in China and other developing countries, you're going to be emitting lots of toxins into the atmosphere. Okay. Now, the batteries that these electric vehicles come from, lithium-ion batteries, they require precious minerals and things that many times are only found in distant foreign countries where they use slave labor and all kinds of things to get these chemicals. Plus, in the mining process, I'm sure that people can be injured. Maybe there can be some pollution involved. And again, oh, it's another country. It's not us. Yes, you should still care. There's human beings involved. I care about them. So these batteries that we're using, these fuel cells, we need all these fancy minerals, some of which we don't have here. That human beings end up being exploited to create this thing. And I don't think the technology is even perfectly there yet. It's one thing having a little battery for your little tiny digital camera. And I'm trying to find one to show you just as I can't find it. Anyway, and there's another thing: the batteries, these fuel cells in these cars that they say cause fires. Even the batteries for electric bikes and the scooters and things, and laptop computers. And hey, I set my laptops and these devices on stacks of books, stacks of papers. You know, I don't want to think about catastrophic things. So yeah, but that's oh, another thing about electric vehicles, because they don't sound like running engines. A lot of animals might not hear them. Do you know how many cats get run over because they don't hear the engines? I think that because their hearing isn't as good as dogs. I don't think dogs get run over. Cats, yeah, they think we need to make something to make the engines loud enough when they're going quietly so the animals don't get hurt. So yeah, we need to do some things. I always thought that if everything was electric, it'd be safer in crashes because then you wouldn't have fires and stuff. But again, with those batteries, I am not an engineer. I am not a mechanic. I didn't even get to study any of the higher maths when I was in high school. I took college preparatory classes, but I had a problem with higher maths, so I didn't even get a chance to take high school chemistry. I really wished I did because I would have been interested in doing chemistry experiments and all kinds of things. I feel there's things I missed out on, but I think there are certain things you can only take if you've successfully done algebra and geometry, and I wasn't able to do those things. So, what else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, yes, I have. And I've been smoking it, and I haven't felt anything though. It just really bums me out about that. I'm gonna turn the fan off because I don't think I'm being heard too well. Let me see if I can find any of those masks. Hold on. Find things around here, just kind of just nothing really effective. This gives no protection at all. I mean, this is virtue signaling. This is what it is. This is what I'm going to wear to make some strangers feel comfortable and safe. Okay, give me a minute. I want to run downstairs. Supervisor might be giving away something. I want to talk to you about. Don't run away. I'm back. Hey. Okay, yeah, they do have some things downstairs. a chocolate cupcake with icing on it. Just what I don't need. I put on weight since last year because of all the sweet crap that they're offering around here. This I'm going to offer to my mother. It's a uh, macaroni salad. I'm at Hershey's, and I got Campbell's Homestyle chicken noodle soup. Got 2 cans of this. I can only guess where this was donated from, but I'm going to give this to my mother. I'm going to be right back. Hold on. All right. Oh, so you like this thing? Oh, I want to. You know what I would like to show you guys? I love the clothes that I saw the people wearing in those Hindu temples. And yes, I'm bringing this up because I think somebody might appreciate this. I want to try this. I think I can wear this just as a mini dress. I have, I think I have them. I may have packed them away. I have these. Oh, I don't know exactly what they're called. Lehengas, maybe. Um. Uh, okay, I think I hung them up. I have this garment bag that has like probably 30 dresses in it or something. But anyway, yeah, I really love those. They're like tunics. They're cut up to the thigh, and they usually wear baggy pants underneath them, and sometimes they wear crop tops under them. Except I don't really care for the baggy pants, and I would style it a little different, but I imagine, see, I wish I got advance notice whenever they would have something going on here, like with the Hari Krishnas having the Ganesha uh, 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 here and the chariot here. Then I could actually wear, I have some of those kind of clothes. And it would be really nice to wear the same kind of clothes that the women wear that go to the temple. So, I mean, since I have them, it's fun to do that and feel like I am showing even more respect to the culture. They've never been anything but kind to me, very warm. Whenever I go to any Hare Krishna events, ISKCON is, International Society for Krishna Consciousness is technically the name of the organization. But whenever I've been to any uh, Hindu temples, anything like that I've encountered in my life. And of course, I've never been overseas. I've only encountered these places in major cities here in the United States. But I always had a good time, and I love studying Bhagavad Gita, and I'm definitely open to revisiting it. I kind of stopped studying it in Hollywood when I read the passage that said that women were unintelligent and needed to be protected from men. The unintelligent part was very painful to read, and I think that obviously I can't agree with, but the needing to be protected from men, in some ways, sometimes that is true. There are many times when I've been victimized and treated badly by men, and I wish that there was somebody else big and strong that could have protected me from that bad person, you know. But you know what? Women can be bad too. You can have to be and want to be protected from bad women, you know, bad people are bad people. But there's some interesting stuff here. But oh yeah, I wanted to mention something. You know, when people drop off things and you find all this free stuff around here. Well, I found this shampoo. It smells so good. It's by Dove. It's called Baby Dove. Now, this isn't even for my kind of hair. It says textured hair care, hydrating shampoo, curl nourishment. It contains coconut oil, almond oil, calendula, chamomile, and oatmeal. It says no tears, non-drying, no parabens, sulfates, dyes, or phthalates. And it has a whole bunch of stuff in the fine print that I'd have to put my glasses on to read. But the gist of it is that the company also donates money to social justice warrior causes, including the Crown Act, which strives to battle the discrimination against people just who want to just wear their natural hair, which I support. Any person who's not an asshole should support that a person should not be penalized in a workplace or any place else for being who they are. And if you're born with a certain textured hair, that's beautiful. I wish they'd bring afros back. I think they're awesome. But that said, you shouldn't bar other cultures from adopting your hairstyles if they want to because they want that beauty. If I want to set my hair in a perm roller so it gets really, really kinky and curly, like I did one time when I was a kid, when we'll talk about trying to untangle that. But person should have the right, just like I should be able to wear braids. I should be able to get dreads. Whatever people should do, whatever they want, whatever they love. If your attitude is out of love and you're not lampooning somebody, or you're not just making money off of them, but not giving credit to where it came from, and not saying, "Hey, you know, I love them," and I just happen that you shouldn't even have to make a reason for. You don't owe anybody a reason for any of your aesthetic choices. You know, just be free to be yourself and defend yourself against people who say, what gives you the right to wear that when you, you know, I don't want uh, to ever compromise myself just out of fear of somebody thinking, oh, there's something wrong with my philosophy or something. I think people should feel free to be their authentic self, but also rein in the assholiness, you know. I don't have anything to gain by being cool with other people or making them feel lesser than or making people feel bad about themselves. And I don't want to make people feel bad about themselves because I just don't want to do it. It would hurt me to know that I was harming people. But that said, if people are just insecure and say they don't like to see women who are in shape, or they don't like to see people that are thin, or they think a person's too white, or they think that they put in too much effort even though they're poor, and maybe they make other poor people feel bad. Nobody should be responsible for anybody else's insecurities. I know I had to work on myself. I didn't always feel so self-assured. A lot of times you have to pretend you are before you really are. Just like that saying, fake it till you make it. Let me look out the window. Oh, look out the window and see if there's anything. Yeah. I got the good stuff. I wouldn't begrudge me doing a little smoke inhalation with you. Now I heard that there's a place that, you know, sometimes people talk in code. I I want to honor the privacy of some of my friends. There's certain places that some of my friends go to, and I like to share information, especially if it's going to help people that are new to an area and want to know where the food places are. If I go on somebody's live stream and say they're in Washington, D.C., and I know the area, some parts of the area, pretty well. Washington D.C. still is a small area and it's very walkable, but there's a lot you can cover. And there's certain areas that I think I know well on foot, but there's so much more I haven't explored. But that said, I think I'm qualified to give advice on where to go if, say, you're poor, homeless, and hungry, and you want to know where you can lay your head down and sleep. You want to know where the food places are. You want to know where the internet is, where hospitals are, where basic services that you would need. You want to know about marijuana, if you want to know about certain things. I know certain things, and I love sharing information that helps people. Sometimes you have to be tricky in the information you share because you realize that the more people are watching you, the more people that are watching you. And there's so many things that I would like to say. Like there's places here in Atlantic City, agencies that purport to help homeless people. And they're getting government money. They solicit donations. They are a what is it called? 301c3 charity. And every year around Thanksgiving, they start with these end of the year donation PLs where they show a big Thanksgiving table, and they say, support, send money to this organization, feed one person this holiday season. As if one good meal on Thanksgiving is going to make a difference in anybody's life. Now, I'm saying this as a person who has been the grateful recipient of lots of soup kitchen meals in my day, because I was on the street half the time. I lived in Hollywood, California, and most of the time, almost all the time, I was in San Francisco. I had a life before I started working in the movies and stuff. And even when I was working in the movies, sometimes I was living in squats and things, or I was living in a hotel that my mom was paying the rent on. There's this Fleabag hotel near the Sunset Gower Studios that I was living in for half the time I was working on the movie Rockstar. So yes, that meant that money was being spent for my housing. But then, my mom was cashing my checks and I was, sending her checks because you get paid and you get fed when you work in the movies. I was a stage dancer. That's cash every day. You know, I worked doing only the things that I loved when I was in California. I had a street performer's license when I was in San Francisco, and there was no money that I had to pay for. We did have a code of ethics that we had to uphold, and it basically involved not being a douchebag. When it comes right down to it, not flim-flamming people, not littering, not uh, getting other people to rob the viewers, or just don't do anything immoral. That's basically what we agreed to. And here, Atlantic City, with its culture, I understand there's all these permits and things, and I understand when you have a business that actually paid business taxes, is renting out property for his business in addition to what he's paying for either his rent for his home or mortgage for his home. So maybe those people might be resentful, think, why do I think I have the right to go outside and not put money down first and think I could just make money, and meanwhile it's cash so Uncle Sam doesn't know, and this and that, whatever. And I don't know what I could say to you except, okay, I have to save up cash so that I can get out of here. And the savings that I did have got stolen. And I do have things, even if I don't have much in a way what you might call overhead. When strings break, what am I going to do? I've gotten to the point where I have so many broken strings, I can't use that instrument. And I really have a hang up about trying to string it. And plus, I don't have a G string. And I don't want to take off perfectly good strings that are my Diodarios just to put open and unopened, unbroken string pack. And the one unbroken string pack never had a G string, so I can't use it anyway. I still would have to use one of those unbroken packs. And I don't have doubles of anything. I just have packs of 6 strings. I have a pack of rainbow strings. I have a pack of gold strings. I have a pack of bronze strings. And I don't know whether they're thin gauge or thick gauge or what, but I normally use Diodario light gauge phosphor bronze. That's what my guitar tech gave me, according to what I read, and especially as far as something that's easy to play. Easy being an operative word. Playing guitar is not easy, but it gets easier the more you do it. I can feel my technique improving. I can feel that I'm getting better. I'm getting more accurate with my playing. For a while, subscribed to a couple email lists of guitar teachers. They have, free classes on YouTube, and then they have the paid portal. And well, I had unsubscribed from everything because it was really clogging up my inbox and Hotmail. It's hard. It's a struggle to keep it down to 99%. It really is. This being constrained to having only 5 gigabytes of storage space, especially when I'm storing so many pictures, that's just really an inconvenience. But yeah, if I took a guitar out, I can make a little money and I can see friends. And one of the great things about my guitar playing experience is that I have written 3 new songs that I never thought that I would have written. I really thought that the songs that are going to be on the album that I am going to put out, I thought that they were going to be from lyrics from the poetry that I wrote in Los Angeles and stuff covering the first bad relationship. I haven't even written about the second one. I mean, yes, I have written about the second one, the one that tracked me down on Facebook Messenger and is still trying to, after all these years. I did write poetry about him, but nothing that was set to music yet. Matter of fact, things I haven't looked at since probably before 9/11. I, for the longest time, deliberately did not look at my journals because I didn't want to be re-inspired by my past. I didn't want to go backwards, even though in the case of the fact that my past involved very exciting times and places that unfortunately I can't be in right now. So why shouldn't I at least reacquaint myself with my memories? Since I can't trust my memories anymore anyway, because the older we get, our brains become like sieves. Maybe yours doesn't, but I've noticed that with my own. I would like to start taking Prevagen if I could get it for free. I'm intrigued by the commercials. Of course, they have normal strength and they have the extra strength. I priced it. The extra strength Prevagen is like $99 that's for a 30-day supply. So that shit's not cheap. I think it would be cheaper to experiment with magic mushrooms or something, maybe microdose, maybe that would help. But no, everything's so expensive. And I'm afraid to shroom until we get our vermin problem taken care of. If it was just mice, I wouldn't mind, but I don't want to be tripping under these circumstances. I think it's very unpleasant. I would want to maybe be on the beach all night and have to worry about. See, I'd have to see what I think about a red and blue lava light, so I could see whether I would find police to be very unsettling when I was high. That said, if I acted all fucked up and everything, I think I would have even more problems with that police encounter if such a thing were to happen. And since I know that I would want to be in a group of friends, do that said trip, when you're in groups of people, you're much more likely to have problems with police. I mean, who would have thought that I, in my age, would be writing a song about police harassment? Really? These are things that should happen to younger people when they're being young and foolish and they're breaking laws and they're drawing attention to themselves by their actions and they're causing problems. I'm not causing problems. If the problem I'm causing is the fact that I'm trying to eke out some kind of a livelihood on the boardwalk ecosystem where so many people are making money panhandling and things, and they're doing it and they're out there all day and they're making money. And if they save their money, they'd be making good money. What do they do with this money they get? I don't think a hit of crack is that expensive. I don't know. That's not my world. I would think that certain things you can be had for $5 or $10. So I would think that you beg some, and then you could be making. It seems to me that they're making more money. I mean, they pick off the money from people before they even get to see a musician, and that's why I will chase them. I see a beggar, even if it's that old guy, who, by the way, he looks a lot older than he is. Excuse me. I've even told him, I says, dude, do you realize that when you do that, when there's people playing music, then that takes it makes everybody look bad. But then sometimes I stop myself. If it's in front of Boardwalk Hall, there are so many people that are living around there and treat it like it's their backyard that maybe for this time it's kind of more theirs than it's mine. And like maybe I should defer to them since that's kind of where they live. But in the same token, why do they have more of a right to have a livelihood than I do? I can't help it that I have a very special love for that area for so many reasons. My dad and I used to work there. I made special memories under the boardwalk when I was finally old enough to do so and to get my draft. I could think of all the legendary parties that so many of us have had in this area. Uh, Concerts that I worked at, concerts I got to go to, times I got to get high there at work and got away with it, smoking weed with the electricians and the decorators and being hopped over the barricades to the special areas that you have these trade shows, and they would have a special little guest room where they would have a cabinet full of snacks. And the police department here used to lift me over the barricade so I can go and get snacks, and we would nibble on potato chips or whatever. I had fun with cops in Atlantic City growing up and being a young adult, being a security guard, working what is now called Boardwalk Hall. I am very new to seeing police in an adversarial position. And now I'm afraid that I got videotaped evidence that I was fucking around with my guitar and I was singing fuck police kind of stuff. And I don't know if somebody's put it on TikTok or whether I'm in a combination of crazy street people or whatever. You don't know how people are going to label you. Because the people, I got the feeling they were making fun of me. Or maybe it was a solidarity thing that they were tired of being jacked up and they were just glad that finally Whitey's getting jacked up too. I don't know. You can't tell what people's motivations are. And there are times when I've automatically assumed rudeness when there wasn't rudeness. Then there was another thing, something that happened to me, not last night, because last night was the church dinner, the night before. Something happened. I was out in front of Boardwalk Hall with my guitar, and this older black guy came up to me. At first, he seemed cool, like, oh, Lady Bruce Springsteen. I even know I'm not a Boss fan for the most part. There's a couple of songs I like, but I'm more of a I appreciate the fact that he's a singer songwriter and some of his songs tell stories, but I never related to that everyman thing. And the lyrics about going to the music park with your girl and she's checking her lipstick in the mirror. Growing up in this town, uh, I was always single. People didn't like me. Young people that I would think would like a young lady looked at me like, you're not the kind of girl that I would take home to mother. They preferred girls wearing sweatpants. I always wore real slutty clothes and heavy makeup and stuff. And I didn't know that there were such things as gothic scenes and punk rock scenes and scenes where you could be visually outstanding. I never saw that here. I didn't get that kind of validation here. There were certain niche scenes that I couldn't claim ownership of that were more exciting. Well, yeah, they were exciting, but they were more accepting. But I couldn't really be more than on the periphery with them. Like the Entertainers Lounge, which was a bar catered to gay men mostly, and that had a lot of characters in it. And that was fun for the socializing and the historical thing there, but you're certainly not going to find romance there. But yeah, this town is just a really weird place. And I try to tell the truth about it. The truth is, I'm glad weed's legal. Hmm. Oh, last night I came in and out of my door a couple times because there was a lot of activity around. I'm just being friendly. Sometimes I would pretend to check my mailbox. I know we don't have Sunday mail deliveries, but if you didn't check your mail Saturday, they'd be waiting for you in the box Sunday. So sometimes I just deliberately go and check the mailbox just to have an excuse to go out there and say hi to guys. And maybe there's a roach on the ground, or maybe somebody say, "Hey, Leather, this is for you," and he hand me a bud. And anyway, there's somebody who is pretty friendly with me and sells weed, sometimes gives me weed. But for some reason, maybe he was in a bad mood or something, but he looked right past me and didn't register like he knew me. And it made me feel awkward. Because I'm not the kind of person to say, hey, by any chance you have blah, blah, blah. If you're selling something, I'm not going to ask for a freebie. I respect that you are an enterprising young man or woman and you're taking care of business. I don't expect people to come up to me and say, hey, Leather, I know you play your guitar thing and that's your livelihood, but will you do a set for me for free? I'll clap, but I can't afford to pay you. What I think of what I would have to do to make it an interesting half hour. And considering how easy it is to break strings, especially when you're really getting into it, you're coming up with all these new uh, verses to a song, and you got to think. Sometimes when I'm thinking off the top of my head, sometimes I screw up with the chords. Believe it or not, there's one thing working on your chord, the accuracy. You start slow first, and then you work faster, and you build your speed, and it adds singing on top of it. And it's a lot. You think it's a lot easier than it is. Yeah. Let's see what happens if I open the window. Yeah, this thing is so big that I can't see. Oh, my filming? Okay, I can see myself. I can see the chat room. I can't see how many people are tuned in, so I don't know how many people are here. Unlike when I did my premiere yesterday, I was actually able to find one video from this computer that I had posted that I was able to access. And for some reason, I started to upload it, but I only partially uploaded it. And I didn't finish uploading it because I thought that maybe it was the wrong file. It was a duplicate of something I already posted. When I looked at the file number and I realized what it was, I said, okay, I hadn't posted it yet. So I did post it all the way. And that's why I decided to make it an instant premiere, thinking that way I could talk to people just like when I'm talking to you guys in a chat room. However, nobody talked to me in it, and I don't know how many people tuned in, but that said, it was probably a weird time of the night. But my life exists in a bunch of weird times. And since I have people that I'm talking to literally all over the world, I'm thinking maybe people in a time zone half a world away, this is more convenient. I had a friend that lived in Iran that I talked to for about 7 years and watched grow up, by the way. And you're talking an instant messenger. Think of how many miles away that is. I had friends in Australia I used to talk to on instant messenger. And that's a time zone difference. I would stay up till sunrise sometimes just so that I could talk to them at a time that was convenient for them because they had normal jobs. They couldn't stay up all night to talk to that American that lives an unconventional lifestyle. You see, so many people live 9 to 5 jobs and they're paying high rents and they made all their milestones. And my life hasn't been like that. There's a lot of things that just didn't seem important to me. I didn't want to have a life of drudgery, which seemed to me being a housewife was. That was another thing that stopped me from wanting to have kids when I was younger. And plus, from the time I was little, I thought that giving birth was a very, 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 very terribly painful thing, like being ripped open. And maybe for some people it is. And I was afraid of that. I really was. And I had some bladder infections starting when I was 8, okay? And then again when I was 11. And I remember telling the doctor, if this is what childbirth feels like, and I looked at my mom straight in the eyes and says, you're not going to ever become a grandmother. And I guess I kind of smited my own loins doing that. I think I even joked about smiting my loins. You talk a lot of shit when you're younger. And in one hand, yes, words can have power, but they only have the power you ascribe to them. Things can behave as so named. If I call this an orangutan instead of a thing of shampoo, it could be an orangutan. Maybe it can turn my hair orange. I mean, okay, now I'm being ridiculous, but yeah, you can name something, and that could change the powers that you ascribe to it. How else do we have cuss words in a language? Think about it. The word and doesn't mean anything. The word fuck means something to some people. You can say and on national TV. The other one you can't say. Words ascribe the value that we give to them. What means one thing in one language might mean something in another language. There is a city in Thailand that's spelled Phuket. Now, I know this isn't the right way to pronounce it, but when I talked to my mother about it, when I would call her from San Francisco, I would say, fuck it. I think it's pronounced Phuket. But still, what if it was pronounced fuck it? A language is pronounced the way it's pronounced. They can't be helped for that. That's why it can make translation sometimes interesting, and international commerce can be interesting also. And I find the study of language can be interesting and easier to understand than trying to learn other languages. For me, that is such a hard thing. I tried to learn Persian. I tried to learn, earliest on in my life, I tried to learn French. I flunked out of French. I tried to learn Japanese. I have tried to learn Hebrew. First of all, anything with a character as opposed to our letters, that's an added stress and challenge. And then things that read backwards, things that we used to reading and writing goes from left to right. Japanese goes backwards. Hebrew goes backwards. These symbols, that's and when you think that we have different fonts that our words are in, can you imagine how that must confuse people that are learning this language who uh, don't use these characters? Now, I would imagine, I know that I've seen Japanese and Chinese in slightly different fonts, like for in newspapers and in advertising and things, but that would, I think, make it even harder to learn, you know. So, and I hate to bring age into things, but maybe learning languages is a lot easier when you're a kid. But if I had problems when I was in high school, that's still young. Even though attitude is so much. Like all the people that say that they don't like Greyhound, they would never ride it. Every time I'm on a Greyhound bus, I hear people saying, "This is the last time I'm ever to take the bus." And I'm living proof to tell you that riding Greyhound bus is so much fun. And it is your attitude that is so important about it. If you bring the proper things with you, like earplugs and a book to read and things and your own food, then you can be comfortable. The distractions won't bother you. Crying babies won't bother you. You won't be having aches and pains. If I can tell you about laws that you should be absolutely sure not to break. Don't take stupid chances. There's videos that I would really like to make about Greyhound, but I think it would be more interesting to make them when I'm actually packing for a trip. And I like to film them actually outside of a Greyhound. But again, how am I going to create them? I can't create them with this machine as a video and then upload it because I don't know how to access it. And live, you always forget something. And I don't know if I'd be able to do that in a Greyhound station because they have all these signs saying places where it's prohibited to film, where they're worried about their own safety and security. And they don't know whether somebody's actually a bad guy that just wants to film the infrastructure so that they could do something nefarious. And meanwhile, I'm just filming a video about like how to pack when you don't pack light and you real rock and roll and or whatever. I would like to think that I can make videos that cater to or can be related to by certain audiences that want to learn about certain things or that relate to certain things. I'm meeting a lot of people recently who are other content creators, and they like the freedom lifestyle of the people who like travel with certain bands, like the Deadheads travel with the Dead, and maybe some of them are traveling with Fish. People like to take their families to visit the national parks, maybe like to explore Washington D.C. and see our cultural landmarks and things, and like to see art and love cats and love weed and dare to think for themselves and are not culturally limited and are kind of open and yet still proud of where they come from. I mean, if you can get behind that, you should be able to get behind my content, and especially if you're not offended by my lack of modesty or political correctness. If you're okay with that, you know. I'm gonna prop open this window. I have a really big, heavy book that I usually use. Okay, here it is. Okay. Oh, another reason why I want to wash my hair a couple times before I bleach it. I actually experimented with dry shampoo earlier yesterday. I wanted to see if it could make my hair look less stringy at the roots and still look kind of big and fluffy. And it does. I guess what they do is they absorb the oil. I couldn't read the fine print. Now here I gotta speak in code a little bit. Next door is closed all week, I heard, but yet I heard downstairs people talking saying that they're giving out hot dogs. But if they're not all beef, I don't see the point. I would like to go over there, but now obviously I'll end this before I do. But if you want, I'll end this. I'll go over there, see if there's anything. Come back, maybe go on again if you want. I mean, I just see these are, to me, these are practically throwaway live streams. Because especially now with the way my computer is all screwed, I can't see how many people are even watching. Okay. And when I don't think anybody's watching, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. But that said, since I don't know how to make a proper video and get it out of this machine, I don't know how to make the screen smaller when it's, the Zoom thing doesn't seem to work. At least not on YouTube thing. So, but oh man, I feel like if you look at my hair from certain things, like here, you can see the color, and you can even see I have a couple of tiny little teal pieces that I put on here, in here. But some of these were completely white blonde when I braided my hair. And so that's why, and I deliberately didn't throw anything in them, but I need to have a lot more purple in my hair before I can even think about getting my ID picture taken. You know what? I'm going to go up the street and I'm going to see if there is anything. But I'll end this and I will maybe get back with you guys in a few minutes. Since it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to have these downloaded, I have to later on today cancel the YouTube premium, and I don't think I'm going to be able to live stream after that. And I love talking to you guys, but just otherwise I'm just going to consider these things to be throwaway streams that I'm not going to download. And then you know how YouTube, I'm going to express one opinion that is illegal or not left wing enough to satisfy the guys that own Google, which owns YouTube. If you don't make Silicon Valley happy, they actively totally suppress the truth. So I will talk to you guys. You see, now I don't know how to turn this thing off. That's the thing, is I'm going to go, okay, the Zoom. Oh no, here, make this smaller. Oh guys, I don't know how to make this small. Okay, Zoom, make it bigger. Okay, it's ironically when I make it over, it's 100%. I have to make it bigger, 110%. Making it bigger is allowing me to find the thing that allows me to end the stream. I have to get, no, not 250%. I have to get it literally to 200% so I can find the button that ends the stream, because the bar that goes sideways is not present. I don't know how to make it exist. Things are fucked up. I am really not happy with my experience with this machine. And I can't call Dell's tech support because I can't understand the heavy accent of the person they patch me into. So Okay, you guys, maybe I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Bye.